now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Sovereign Order of Malta, who will be our last speaker in this segment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The right to adequate housing is a cornerstone of human dignity and a fundamental component of the right to an adequate standard of living. Yet this right remains far from realized for millions worldwide. More than 1.8 billion people live in informal settlements or inadequate housing, often without safe water, sanitation, or reliable electricity. Climate change, natural disasters, and armed conflicts continue to destroy homes and uproot communities, forcing millions into displacement each year. The humanitarian consequences are profound. Inadequate housing deprives families not only of shelter, but of safety, health, and stability, eroding social cohesion and perpetuating poverty. The lack of housing is not born in a vacuum. It is linked with multiple inequalities, leaving women, minorities, indigenous peoples, migrants, and persons with disabilities most affected. A home provides the foundation for livelihood and dignity. Without it, building a future becomes a much greater task. Adequate housing, as the United Nations has affirmed, must mean more than 4 walls and a roof. It encompasses security of tenure, access to essential services, affordability, habitability, and respect for cultural identity. Only when these elements are present can housing truly serve as a foundation for human dignity and social stability. The Sovereign Order of Malta provides housing and shelter assistance in regions affected by conflict, displacement, and disaster. In Ukraine, we have converted schools and parish halls into shelters for refugees. In Iraq's Nineveh Plains, our humanitarian relief agency, Malteser International, has supported the reconstruction of over 1,000 homes. And in South Sudan and Lebanon, we have repaired community infrastructure while training local workers. Across Europe, the Order operates night shelters and transitional housing for the homeless and migrants, while post-disaster housing projects in Haiti, Pakistan, and the Philippines integrate climate-resilient materials and community-based design. While such interventions are vital, they remain palliative, addressing symptoms of deeper structural problems. To safeguard the right to adequate housing, humanitarian action must pair with long-term strategies so that displaced and marginalized communities are not forced to rebuild their lives again and again on fragile ground. Madam Chair, the Order therefore calls for greater international cooperation to strengthen legal protections against forced evictions and discrimination, empower local actors to ensure access to housing and essential services,